Manaia, yesterday on the podcast with myself and ACC head G Lane, we were discussing rock bottom. I was going to ask if you have ever hit it, but you've just come out of a meeting with Pixie Campbell, Radio Haraki's Australian content director, so I fear you might have just hit it within the last 5 minutes.
I did, and the great thing is, it's only up from here. No, rock bottom for me, rock bottom for me, and you can read about it in the Women's Weekly from a few months ago. Women's Day, new idea. The FHM magazine that they wrote a hit piece about me a few months ago. It was in there. It was me and the missus had just moved to the North Island.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find a job for ages. And she was working she was working at a vet clinic, but she was also working at the zoo, but she was also working at a cafe. And I was like, fucking hell, I got to do something. I burned through my savings. I go down to apply for the dole, and I got rejected. And as I'm sitting in the WINS office, the lady goes, look, be completely honest with me. Like, don't lie, I'm here to help you, so tell me everything, and there'll be no problem. Look, perfect. She goes, so what kind, you've just moved to the North Island, what kind of job do you want to get? And I was like, I want to be on the radio. She was like,
oh, God.
She goes, yeah, we got another one. I think I saw her hit a button under her desk. When I said that, and she goes, okay. And what were you doing before you came up here? I was like, plastering.
Okay.
Yep, we're Timaru. Okay. And you're going to be on the radio, are you? Yeah.
And was that a moment that you thought to yourself, damn, this is rock bottom, or have you thought that in hindsight?
No, I thought it at the time.
Yeah.
When I was sitting in the WINS office, I turned around and I was the only guy there that didn't work there that had shoes on. And I was like, I reckon this is rock bottom. And as I said it, I should have said, I'm looking for work as a plasterer. But I was like, I'm going to be on the radio. And she was like...
What was the job you got after that? Can you remember?
It was...
did you take the hour?
It was a media agency.
Wow.
It was a bizarre turn of events.
I wonder if the lady from WINS saw that.
I wonder if she listens to the Hauraki Breakfast.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I would love that.
And she's telling her kids about the fact that one day he came through my office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always knew he had it at him.
I rejected him from the dole.
Or she's saying that, yeah.
Because the reason I got rejected was, she said, are you living with your partner? I said, yeah, I am. She's like, you can't do it.
Yeah, and your partner's working 3 jobs, so the money's coming in.
So I went back and told her it's all her fault. She can't do anything right. And then...
How old were you at the time?
Like 25.
25, yeah, that's why I think I still might be coming up to mine.
Yeah, I was older then than you are now.
Yeah, because life feels all right at the moment. So if it's just around the corner, then I don't know. I'm on high alert.
Wrong because I'm feeling way too damn good. Oh, can I address something as well before we start this shit?
Yeah, please.
You guys are talking to Ryan Fox on this very podcast feed later on this week, I believe.
Yeah, on Saturday, I think.
Because Chasing the Fox is coming up, or as a lot of people have called it to me, Jason the Fox. And Lane said yesterday that he won the corporate event and had the title taken off him.
Yeah,
and he was struggling to remember who was on his team. He said it was him.
I think he might have mentioned Mike McClung, head of radio here.
Former Cleo Bachelor of the Year, Mike McClung, head of Flavour and massive fan of the gender podcast, Marty Heheworth.
Yes.
I'd just like to refresh his memory. The 4th member of that team was Manaia Stewart.
Okay, right.
And I knew he was going to forget. I knew he was going to forget that I was in that team.
You know, he was just looking to name the high wattage players in the team, I think.
Well, I don't know. I think if you go back, I mean, not that you keep track of who used what, but because I'm so awful off the tee because I got the driving yips, people think I'm awful at every part of golf because when you play golf with someone, you only ever see their drive and their putt.
That's a good point.
Rest of the thing, they're off in the weeds. You're off playing your ball.
Yeah, opposite sides of the fairway for sure.
So I'd just like to defend myself. I'm only shit off the tee.
In your recollection of that story, did you also win that part of the competition?
Oh, we did win it.
You did win it?
We definitely did win it. But like G Lane always says, whoever wins the if you win a Ambrose tournament, it's because you cheated.
Yeah.
And if you didn't win, you didn't cheat hard enough.
Yeah.
But we were definitely carried by Marty, who I think is single-digit handicapper.
Is he single digits?
I think so.
Okay, well, that's good to clear that up. So rock bottom has been hit, and you were a part of that team in the Chasing the Fox 2023 side.
Yeah, we were also talking actually on the radio show about whatever the opposite of rock bottom is, rock top. Rock top for me, I hit twice.
Rock top's dangerous.
Rock top 1, I think you were there, Joe. You may have even been there as well.
Oh.
It was a Warriors commentary where we got KFC delivered to us. And throughout the entire commentary, the text machine was just lighting up with people texting me, telling me what piece of chicken to eat next.
Oh, come on.
Whether they wanted a wing or a drumstick or
Imagine if the guy that
breast.
was walking into the Wins office was able to flash forward and take in that moment.
Imagine if I went in there and she said, okay, you've moved to the North Island. What kind of job do you want? I just want to eat KFC and get paid for it.
Commentate one of my favourite sports teams ever.
Yeah. And
wow.
Cut to, that's exactly what happened. And I was getting paid for it. It was absolutely insane.
So Rock Top, again, maybe I'm hoping that Rock Top is
still coming.
Is still going to come. But it will be a moment like that. It won't be a moment that feels like it should be Rock Top. It'll be a moment where I'm eating something or watching sport or something like that. Anyway, live from the Export Beer Garden studio. Very hot studio today, by the way. It's warm in here. Sorry about that. This is the agenda for Wednesday, the 2nd of July.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Don't know a lot about cocaine, but it turns out someone's playing it on it. Sorry, let me start that again. Don't know a lot about cocaine, but
you know a thing or two about squash.
I know a thing or two about squash.
I've seen you doing squash quite a lot, actually. I've seen you doing squash. Actually, after the radio awards, you were doing squash.
Okay. So a top New Zealand squash player, Anthony Lepper, has served a 1-month suspension after testing positive for cocaine. Now playing squash on cocaine doesn't sound like fun.
It doesn't. I mean, being locked in a room with Dame Susan Devoy while you're just chewing her ear off about business ideas sounds atrocious.
When you step behind that glass door, I can't think of anything worse
than
being on cocaine in that situation. No, we've got to be very careful around this conversation. I don't know what it must be like, whatever.
Yeah, I personally have never done squash, but I've done a hell of a lot of cocaine, and I think, I don't know, you could convince yourself it's only you and the other person in there. Yeah. This is what I think, because I've...
she's already pretty fast in there, though.
It is. So Dame Susan Devoy, very close personal friend of mine, she's been on 3 or 4 episodes of Game of Two Halves.
Yes.
The soon-to-be, please God, renewed Game of Two Halves. And I can see why she was one of the greatest squash players of all time, because being locked in a TV studio with 100 other people is terrifying.
Yeah.
Being locked in a glass case where it's just you and her.
Oh.
I mean, the mental strength you would have to be able to go toe-to-toe with Dame Susan Devoy. To be honest, the kind of confidence you would need would be cocaine confidence.
Yeah, now you've said that, I'm thinking that it might be one of the better sports. Yeah, because it is a sport that you need a bit of confidence for. Yeah. And that's what cocaine really is, isn't it?
I think if you... What sport would you pick if you had to do one and cocaine was the... You know, you've got to do cocaine and then play one sport. I think it's...
League. I think that goes without saying, and I think, in fact, some players that are... No, we'll be careful around that topic of conversation.
You just rack up off the back fence?
Yeah, I feel like you just run hard.
Yeah.
Your frontal lobe wouldn't be able to keep up. I think you might be concussed before you'd even blink. But
you would fit straight in. But I think you would also only be able to do a short burst.
Yeah.
Which is why I think for me, it's something that you do anyway, allegedly I've heard.
Yeah. Well said.
Luge.
Yeah.
Downhill luge.
I mean...
Could you imagine... Because in the luge...
Quick 30-second sprint at the top.
All you're doing is just holding on for dear life.
It's just white knuckling.
It's just white knuckling because you've got no control over it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, what are the bad ones? Golf.
No,
doesn't seem great. Might fight the caddy. You're going to be trying to drive the green on every par 5 that you come across.
Also, you duff a shot on golf.
Oh, you're hitting the bag with the club early.
Hitting the bag. Yeah, I don't know. But the other part of it is I don't know why we ban sports people for recreational drugs.
What else are they going to do with their time?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think? And why? So the builder that came to put the fence up around your thing.
Yeah.
If you found out that he'd had a big weekend, would you drug test him and be like, you're no longer allowed to do it? You know what I mean? Why do we? But we assume that from certain occupations, but then for sport, it's like Michael Phelps got stoned, so
yeah.
You know,
if I can have a pie after I can go for a run, is that really any different than an extreme athlete doing their thing and then, you know, after it having a night out and doing some lane?
Yeah. I've also thought before, because I'm a veteran of over one half marathon.
Congratulations.
I've done 2.
Wait, 2 half marathons or 1 marathon?
I mean, call it what you want, man.
Okay,
6 of one, half a dozen of the other,
no,
but definitely 2 half marathons. They were 4 weeks apart from each other.
Okay, that would have been a better question to ask.
The Auckland Waterfront half marathon I did. Did I do that with you, Joe? No.
Does that include the Harbour Bridge or no?
No, it's the one that doesn't.
Okay, that's good. That's a good one to do.
No
I
hills.
haven't done it, but...
No hills. I've told the story before, but when I did that one,
that is a flat track bully to Mission Bay and back.
Yep.
Nice.
But because it's not a full length, you've got to do laps. So the first lap is shorter, then the second lap is longer. And so I was running, and I got to about 12, 13 Ks in, and I got to the marshal at the turnaround point and said, hey, mate, do I turn around here or do I keep going? And he goes, are you running the half marathon or the shorter distance? I said, I'm running the half marathon. And he goes, oh, yes, sweet. Well, you turn around here. Okay. Now, that would only have been true if it was my second lap, not my first, which it was. Right, so this dickhead looked at me and goes, oh, here he is, the fastest man in the Auckland waterfront fucking half marathon at 114 kilos with flat feet.
Here's our pack leader.
Was out at the pub last night, still reeked the piss. And he's like, yep, turn around here. I was like, I don't know about that. My missus is tracking along at home, so you get a microchip in your bib. Every time you run through a kilometre thing, it updates on the website.
Wow.
She's at home watching the kilometres tick off every 7.5 minutes. And and then at kilometre 14, I just fall off the face of the earth.
Right.
Because I turned too early, so I never hit the next checkpoint.
And then did you run through the finish line like you'd done a half marathon, but in actual fact you might have only done about 19, 18 Ks?
What happened, it's much worse than that actually. What happened was, at a certain point, the peloton come flying past me, the herd of actual fast runners. Some dudes start coming flying past. One of them, in the main peloton, Scotty J. Stevenson.
Oh, wow.
He runs past, and he's just like, well, how the fuck is Manaia in front of me? I ditched him at the starting line. So he runs past, slaps me on the ass, and he goes, you've gone the wrong way, mate. And at that point, fucking head noise, because now I'm 15, 16, 17 Ks into the race.
It's tough to come back from something like this.
My watch was keeping track of how far I'd run, so I got to the next marshal, and I was like, bro, I've run 15, 16 Ks. Where do I turn around to fucking match up? Because your dickhead mate spun me around. And he said, if you turn around at the next one, you'll catch up to where you should be.
Okay.
Wrong again. I end up running about 23, 24 Ks in this thing.
Oh.
And my missus thought I had died.
Yeah, no, she would have.
And also that meant that by the time that I finished, everyone else had left. So I finished with none of my mates that I showed up with and was just sitting there.
That's a hell of a day.
An absolute agony. But while I was running it, a thought went through my mind.
24 Ks is impressive though, by the way.
Yeah, it didn't feel that way at the time. It took me almost 3 hours, 2 hours 53.
Nice.
I did the bastard. But I was thinking, what if someone was, getting into the podcast powder during the run? If their heart could withstand it, would it make it easier?
Oh, yeah, it's a heart rate issue, isn't it? It would. I think it would.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I can imagine that sometimes running feels a little bit easier, and you feel like. Well, what I'm trying to say is I've taken on some big distances before.
Yeah.
Under the so you can't even talk about this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it would make it easier.
Well, they call it marching powder, don't they? So
they do call it marching powder.
It must work.
I think it's easy to get the steps in when you're under the influence of marching powder. Anyway,
I think this is a good thing for Anthony Lepper.
Do you think
I've just completely undermined my own point. My point was going to be now people know his name.
He's on the radar.
Just called him Andy. He's
on the radar.
But anyway, Anthony Lepper. Don't feel bad. No one gives a shit.
I do wonder what it's like, though, when you're someone like this that gets caught out. The same situation with the South African cricket team. I can't remember exactly who it was that was caught with a bit of a baggy situation, allegedly.
Rabada.
That was Rabada, was it?
I guess so.
At least everyone now knows who to hit up, for kick-ons. I don't imagine there's a lot of people with contacts in the squash community. So it's fantastic to know that, 11 o'clock, you've just played a social game of squash, you can hit up your mate.
Yeah.
And he'll sort you out.
No, that's all behind him.
Let's move on. The Wahs. Do you, Manaia Stewart, we talked about this yesterday, do you blame the Pinot Wahs curse for this bed shitting that we are currently seeing? Not only, by the way, on the field in terms of performance, but a couple men down as well. Lukey Met.
What is the...
As I like to call him.
Yeah, that's what you call him.
Yeah.
That's what his mates call him.
Yeah.
What is this version of the Pinot Wahs curse? Why is it happened again?
It wins a radio award. Matt Heath comes in here all cock of the hoop, shouting and yelling, effing and jeffing, fuck you all, this is my award, and then this happens.
It's a fair point. I believe listeners of this keen podcast will remember, or keen listeners of this podcast will remember a couple of weeks ago I said, when everyone said, is it time to jump off the bandwagon? I said, yeah, if you want to, jump off. If you want to jump back on down the track, go for it, jump back on. Just don't enter it into the radio awards. And they did.
Yep.
And now 2 games on the trot. And I hate to go back into this again because it tore families apart.
Yeah, well, no, we've got time to kill. We've got half an hour we need to fill today, and not a lot of sports happened in the last 24 hours. So go. It
tore families apart, and why I don't want to lay the blame squarely at the feet of the Pinot Wahs is because that makes it about the Pinot Wahs again.
Yeah.
And that's always been my issue with them.
That has been the mental battle that you have.
Is that the Pinot Wahs are not about the Warriors, they're about themselves. So I think it's got nothing to do with that, and everything to do with injuries, and I don't know.
Yeah, sidestepping the Pinot Wahs, what did you and Ben Hurley talk about yesterday on the May Monday pod?
Yeah, it's hard. It is tough. Well, we were sort of casting an eye forward to next week and being like, who's going to replace each of them? What's Webby going to do? If I had to guess, I think Tanner Boyd starts at halfback because we need a kicker now. I think Tamati stays on the bench. I think Tane Tuapiki, if he has come out of his coma after, I don't know if you saw, but he got fucking obliterated in the New South Wales Cup about a month ago.
I did see a clip of that, yeah.
Real dog shot, straight to the head of the smallest player on the field. Congratulations, champ. But if both of Tane Tuapiki's eyes are pointing in the same direction, I think he'll be starting at fullback.
Yeah.
I think Webby will leave Roger on the wing. I don't know.
I hadn't even thought about Shans. I don't even think we touched on Shans yesterday. Yeah, he's gone as well. How long is he out for, do you know?
4 to 6 weeks, they reckon.
Oh, you beauty.
One of those being a bye. So his one, I think I said it on the podcast, but Metcalf's one looked like a ACL straight away. It's the one where they're bracing and they're pushing the leg down and then it buckles in a certain direction. That's the ACL. Generally, if someone falls on it and it bends, that's not often the ACL.
There was a couple of clips that I saw yesterday of similar injuries like this in the NRL. Is it something that happens a lot? Because it was post-hit, wasn't it?
It was as he was passing, he got hit, but as he got hit, he planted his right foot, and the hit all the thing went through his leg, and it just buckled. And they know on the field straight away whether that's an ACL or not. So that is an ACL. Gutting for him, second ACL he's done on that same leg. It's the same leg that's got the plate in it from last year where he broke it.
Yeah.
And like an NRL player, really, if you're lucky, gets 10 years in the league. And so to have, now 2 of those, I mean, it is heartbreaking. But he'll be back. I think, I don't know, we might go through a bit of a lull. Some of the teams we're playing in the next few weeks are dog shit, so we may actually be all right.
Okay.
And I do think that one of the things about this year's Warriors team is it hasn't really mattered who's playing. It's just 13 Warriors jerseys walk out onto the field and, I don't know, have a hoon.
Can you tell me why our resis are so good?
They always have been. We used to win the under-20s and all that for the longest time, and but then the best players always get poached and taken out to other teams. Other thing, particularly, last few years, we now have feeder teams throughout the age grade that come up. So that's part of it. The other part of it is half their team is half our team from last year. So Tamati Martin's been playing in there. Ed Cossey, who didn't have a great game on the weekend, but he's a first grade player as well. He's in there. Tanner Boyd, who was starting for the Titans last year. So hopefully that means they all come into our team. I don't know, too much earnest rugby league chat. It's going to be a tough period. I think we'll be all right though.
And by this weekend.
Yeah.
Happy days. Sweet. If you're sick of listening to us and you also want to watch us, feel free to search up the Alternative Commentary Collective on YouTube. We put the full podcast out there daily, along with the Mad Monday podcast, Manaia, that you did yesterday with Ben Hurley, and then a couple of other potties as well.
I was doing heaps of squash yesterday, so maybe don't post that video.
Okay, sweet. We'll make sure we take that one down. Let's take a break and come back with a bit of chat in regards to last week's Do Draft, the World War III Do Draft that we did. Okay, we'll be right back. Congratulations, Manaia. Once again, your draft squad has taken out the social media battle, which proves so important. Last week we did a World War III Do Draft where we select 5 individuals each. Myself, Joe Jerry over there, Joe, turn your mic on, and you, Manaia. We chose a squad of 5 and posted them to social. Yeah. Manaia, 58% of the votes were yours, 26 were mine, and 15, Joey.
Annoyingly,
people didn't understand my format, my approach.
People could not see your vision. No. I'll give you that. My missus was looking at it. She was like, "Who the fuck are any of these dudes?" What was it? Ovechkin.
Shane Gillis, Alex Ovechkin, Steven Seagal, Max Verstappen, and then that COD player, number 1 COD player in the world.
The only person she recognised was Max Verstappen because we went and watched the F1 movie the night before that.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, wasn't he in our movie last night?
Yeah, getaway driver. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I saw a comment saying that your squad, Joe Jury, might have had a better chance in the original do draft that we did, and I think that was probably a fair point. I think yours would have been a fantastic OG do draft squad.
And while I would like to claim the victory, 58% is overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
There's a couple of things I'd like to admit to. One, I talked you out of putting either Dua Lipa or Sydney Sweeney in there, and you ended up with Judi Dench. I feel like that's probably where you lost a few votes.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the other thing is, there's a direct correlation between where you were in the carousel that was posted to Instagram and who won. So the main page was me. Yeah, but you know what? Since I won the last one, I feel like I get priority.
Yeah, you are king of the cage or whatever.
Yeah.
King of the cage.
Oh, that's
King
a good
of the
way
ring.
to do it. Every time someone wins, the following week they get the first image on the carousel.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to knock you off top spot.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that probably in the next couple of weeks. We don't want to overdo draft.
Nah, but I
people.
also think that a lot of people saw my vision. I was assembling a squad. Everyone needed to have their
Yeah.
thing. Jerry looked at it and he was like, I don't get it. Why is Ben Lummis in there? And I was like, Bard. You need a Bard. And he clean lost the plot.
Yeah.
Was Ben Lummis in it, though?
Well, this is an interesting... look, I fell victim of what can only be,
A bit of squash.
look, there was
Extreme exhaustion.
There was a situation that did occur.
You're very exhausted.
He's been on some medication lately.
I somehow managed... I honestly do not know how this happened. Somehow, when I did the first edit of the social media images that we made up of the squads, I included a photo of Ben Lummis, which I thought was nice.
Except that it wasn't Ben Lummis.
And it wasn't even close to Ben Lummis.
Nah.
Not only was it not Ben Lummis,
It wasn't even a singer. It wasn't even Michael Murphy.
it was James Musterpick.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a comedian.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But even
None of us picked them.
There was no mention of him.
No.
There was also, I've never ever had to cut out an image of him before, so I'm not sure why it was on my computer. I don't even understand. I honestly couldn't have told you what Ben Lummis looks like, but I could tell you that he didn't look like that. So there was a mistake, there was a mistake made somewhere.
Like Polynesian gentleman with fake cornrows shaved into his head.
Yeah.
About as far away from the dude that you did put in there.
Hence why I feel like I must have been victim of some kind of Photoshop ghost, because I honestly don't understand how we ended up here.
My guess was that you were editing something else with that guy's face, and then it was a copy and paste image.
That's what I thought must have happened as well, but I've never cut out a photo of James Musterpick in my life. I've never had anything to do with him. I've never talked to him.
So you tried to sabotage me, and I still won. That's what's happened.
Do you think? I mean, yeah.
You're like, I know what'll get him. James from Mustafa.
Okay, well, that's enough conversation about the do draft from last week. We'll do another one at some point. I pitched to Joe Jury, by the way, that I'd be quite interested in doing a do draft of biscuits.
Oh, yeah.
He brought a pack of Monte Carlos to work yesterday, and I was looking at those thinking,
a whole
Jesus.
pack. God, Lane is entering his dotage because when I used to work at the ACC full time, 3 o'clock we'd go to the dairy.
Sultana fucking pasties.
Sultana pasties.
Ooh.
Only if they didn't have digestives.
And he's like, these are great. These are amazing. I was like, get the fuck out of here with your Sultana pasties.
You know they're shit because they stay there the whole day and they're still there the next day.
He's the only one that eats them.
Yeah.
Are they saltier than they are sweet, the pasty? Because the pasty is like the crackery thing on either side, eh?
Yeah, I don't think it has salt on it.
It's not salt, it's sultana.
Yeah, I got the part in the middle. Yeah, that's
the crackers those crackers have salt on them. If you were to
those
get
crackers have salt on them.
damn crackers have salt on them.
Because I think there's some kind of correlation between the older you get, the more you enjoy salt as well. Because he's not opting for a Tim Tam, and that's where I would have started.
Part of it is that
Tim Tam for his co-workers.
Part of it is I think you just can't taste shit as well anymore. Yeah. Anywho.
Let's move on. Let's chat rugby. There's a big blurb written in front of me, so I'm just going to read it word for word. Bear with me here. I haven't done any prep.
Ron Burgundy us.
Ardie Savea is hoping to see Moana Pasifika survive in Super Rugby Pacific.
Oh, so he's sticking around?
Calling them the people's team, despite them facing financial pressure and the owners being forced to deny all public funding was used to support the team.
Well, hang on. So they're saying the public hasn't funded this, and then their star player, who is leaving next year, is saying we're the people's team?
Yeah.
Do you reckon they were like, Ardie?
Yeah,
Dude,
Ardie.
We're trying to pretend that we're not being funded by the people at the moment.
Okay.
Can you not?
In quotation marks, you've seen what the team did for New Zealand and the people, said Savea. I think it'll be a huge loss if Moana wasn't in any rugby competition. And then also in quotation marks because, of course, he is one with the Lord. We're the Lord's team. We're the people's team. So hopefully whatever that looks like above my shoulders, it can all work out.
Look,
end quote.
At the risk of, now that I've become aware that we're being filmed, I don't even know if I want to say this, but at the risk of him saying this, sports people are the kings of misremembered quotes and half-remembered quotes. I don't know what he means by whatever that looks like above my shoulders.
Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah, no, that doesn't make a lot of sense, Ardie.
I think what he meant was,
and I didn't make
whatever that
there.
looks like is over, like above my pay grade. It's above my head. Over my head.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, he's been asked a question. He's trying to figure out how he can get away with, just spitting out another cliche, and he's just kind of crossed his wires.
There's one he went for the other day, which was when Rico Ioane posted and said, "Told you not to let us get one," and then got eliminated the next week. He commented, because it was basically Moana Pasifika's out of Super Rugby, and then he went for the Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. But I think what came out was something along the lines of sheep sleep or something like that, and it was like
Lions don't follow sheep was what he came out with. Yeah, it was a kind of the 6-year-old version of the saying.
And I get it because I
see how he got there.
It's like, if you asked me to go and exercise for 80 minutes and then came and asked me to like drop a dope-ass quote, I'm definitely going to fuck it up. I mean, all I do is come in and talk into microphones and I still fuck that up.
Yeah.
So I understand why, but there's something about athletes that they really, no one can half remember a quote.
Yeah.
All in all, it's all just bricks in a wall. You're like, no, not quite.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can't say a lot on that because I definitely listen back to this podcast every now and again and go, that made absolutely
I know what you were trying to say.
No sense. So is Moana Pasifika under the pump, are they?
Yeah, so their funding is quite tight.
Yep. Ask Jesus for some.
Well, maybe a bit of tithing sort of situation.
If you start handing around the bowl.
Yeah, exactly. At the games.
At the games.
I've got to be honest, that is not the dumbest idea.
No, of course it's not, man.
Take the donation bowl to the game.
There's a hell of a lot of people that would donate a $5.
Yeah, and a couple of people who will take a couple of $5s out of there when no one's looking.
You're right, but I think...
But on the whole...
the net gross will be there.
That's not bad. So, but hang on a second. So now you've got to pay tickets to go and watch Moana Pasifika, who next year will not have Ardie Savea in their team.
Yeah.
And then also take a bit more money.
No, it's a tough sell.
It is a tough sell.
But I mean, I thought, the Lord was as well. And look, that's
right.
So, hey. Anyway, of course, the All Blacks, they're coming up. They're versing the French.
They are. That's this weekend. And I'm sure you'll talk to McConey later on this week about it maybe. But I feel like there's not a lot of groundswell for this.
There's not, no.
No.
Is it because of the disappointment around the French side?
I think that's part of it. But I think for the general public, I think most casual rugby fans probably wouldn't even know, because you don't know who the French team are anyway.
No.
You only know that halfback.
Dupont.
Because Freddie Michalak
he's got the same name as some sketchy kind of, I think,
wrestling coach that killed someone.
Oh no, chemical business from the States.
And there's fuck you as well.
Oh, and there's Gail fuck you. So I think that most people would look at the French team and be like, I don't know if that's under strength or not.
Right.
But I just think after Super Rugby, we might be a little rugbyed out, and we're as far away from a World Cup as possible.
Yeah,
so
I think that's another part of it, is that there's no real rugby on the horizon that we go, oh wait, do we actually care about the result of it?
Yeah, and even worse, like the South Africans aren't in Super Rugby anymore, so we don't know enough about South Africa that when we play the Springboks, we're playing the Springboks. I don't know any of the players.
I think we'll give more of a shit when we verse the Springboks than we do about the French for some reason, though.
I think the best case scenario I think we're going to obliterate France here. I think it's going to be quite sad.
I agree.
I think we'll be sitting here next week being like, well, what the fuck was all of that? But the best thing for us would be if Aussie go close to beating us. I think that's the best thing that could happen for rugby in New Zealand.
Right.
Is they go close.
Okay. We get excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing that could possibly happen. I was a sport radio producer for the mainstream sport talk radio station.
This was after wins again, wasn't it?
It was after wins, yeah.
Nice.
Yet again, found myself working in radio. Can you believe it? And
I hope she's listening, by the way.
Yeah.
The lady that turned
Mama
you down.
made it. But that was when we lost. We lost to, who did we lose to? Argentina at home in Christchurch?
Yeah, that's right.
Ireland?
Right in the middle of Fozzie, kind of anti-Fozzie gear, yeah.
Man, my job has never been easier. That's probably another rock top that I had. Where it was like, okay.
Shows were filling themselves.
Here's the plan tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to come on air and be like, Phone lines are open. Give us a call. And they just...
You beauty.
And the thing about...
Just Beaver and Kirsty.
Yeah.
Chatting about what's wrong with the world.
Yeah. Although, but it was more Beaver being like, well, this isn't, this is test match rugby. It's way harder than you think it is. Because people that have never played it are like, no, they should win that.
Yeah.
But people that have played it are like, you've actually got to go out and fucking win it.
Yeah.
But any time you let a talkback caller get to their second point, it is racist. It is racist every single 100% of the time. It's racist. So you get them on the line and be like, right, we're talking Warriors 0800 80 10 80 or whatever. Give us a call. What do you reckon? Well, I reckon the Warriors have got a fitness issue. I'm like, well, yeah, that could be it. We do sort of tend to fall off at the 60th minute. Yeah, that's right. And that's because there's too many Islanders in the team. You're like, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah.
Every single, it was the way it was like without fail. Second point, and so we had to institute a rule. No second points. Yeah, it's just, no follow-up questions to a caller.
If you tune into ZB on a Sunday, there's a lot of issues with the amount of brain we have on the wings.
Yeah,
that kind of gear.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt he's an athlete, but he makes poor decisions. It's like, oh, come on, man.
If you're looking for something to do, by the way, for this All Blacks tour, join us, the ACC. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of live events throughout this French series, and then no doubt there'll be some announcements to come further down the line for later in the year. But a whole bunch of drink specials and a crowd that loves the game as much as you do. I think G Lane said this before, but don't worry if you're thinking about bringing a whole bunch of mates that have never heard of the ACC. They're not going to be any the wiser. No. It'll be a great day. It's not a big self fluff or anything like that. It's just it's a good excuse to have a bit of a party, and that's what we will be doing. So Wellington on July the 12th from 6 p.m. at Shed 22. If you want to come to that one, you text Shed to 3236 to lock in your free spot. Again, you're not paying anything yet, you're just locking in your free spot. We want to make sure that everyone gets a table that rocks up. And then Hamilton, July the 19th from 6 p.m. at the Roaming Giant. Just text ACC to 3236 to lock in your free spot. It's free, it's live, it's going to be awesome. Don't miss out, for the love of God. We look forward to seeing you there. Anyway, let's take a break and come back with a whole bunch of yours pleases, if that's all right.
Yours please! Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Jeez, we needed to turn that amp off sooner. Let's go. First one, yours, please.
G'day.
Hi,
just on your do draft for World War III. I know you missed a trick there. You could have gone with old Timuera Morrison. He's a doctor and Dr. Rapata, a warrior in Jack the Muss, and a bounty hunter in Jango Fett from Star Wars. He was also cloned into millions of them. Could have had millions in one.
That's a great point.
Anyway, always next time.
Yeah.
Love yous. Fuck yous.
Love you. Fuck you.
Fuck's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, no, fuck me. I definitely should have, because I think I even gave a honourable mention to Jake the Muss.
You did.
It was going to be in there as my fighter.
The Muss got mentioned for sure. Tim Morrison, though, would have been a great shout for a medic.
Oh, yeah, medic, bounty hunter, like you said, cloned on the planet Camino.
Do you think that the template that you're going to use moving forward for these drafts, do you think it's going to be a priority for you to make sure you've got a round squad like that?
Yeah, but I also think it depends on what we're doing. Like that one was World War III, so I needed a fighting party.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not going to need a medic every time.
No, that's true. And then now, if we are going to execute the draft of biscuits,
yeah, I probably don't need...
You don't really need a medic in that, do you?
Sydney Sweeney will still go close.
Next one, yours, please.
G'day, Helmets. Long-time listener, first-time pleaser here. Hey, Ring Man, my question. You guys have an ACC ad for the Mad Monday podcast, which plays every 30 bloody seconds. The voiceover guy says something like, somebody's cooked their Claire. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he's saying. Do you guys know what he's saying? Like, is that something I should know? But don't. Please help. Fuck Canterbury. Fuck you, Mash.
Oh.
Ghislaine McConey, come here and give me a bit of a cuddle.
Cheers, brother. Appreciate it. Joe Jerry, you've got something to say on that,
Yes, so I have the trailer here that he's talking about.
Yes, please.
So let's play this and then see if you can figure out. It's about halfway through.
Joe Jerry, yours, please.
The Alternative Commentary Collective's Mad Monday podcast is like the NRL end-of-season party. Someone's missing a tooth, someone's cooked their clear, and someone sent a wretched pic to their boss. From wildcard predictions to completely made-up stats, it's leagued through the lens of Ben Hurley, Di Henwood, Chris Key, and Manaia Stewart.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so for context, our voiceover artist, Chris, is discussing things that people have done wrong.
Yes. I'll play it again.
Yeah, so what's the list?
The Alternative Commentary Collective's Mad Monday podcast is like the NRL end of season party. Someone's missing a tooth, someone's cooked their clear, and someone sent a wretched pic to their boss.
Yeah, stop it there. So someone's
missing a tooth, someone sent a wretched picture to their boss. The middle one I didn't catch either. Cooked their clear?
So I know, I've seen the script, so I know what he actually says.
Well, this is good because we're not gonna get there because I've got like something about a clear, something that is clear.
The last one is someone sent a Richard pic, as in a dick pic.
It sounds like Richard.
Yeah, well, it could be a Richard pic. But the middle one is someone's cooked their career.
Okay.
So there
you go. I feel like I found out a lyric to a song that I didn't know. Do you know the Baha men of Who Let the Dogs Out fame?
Yeah.
Are embroiled in a decades-long lawsuit as to who wrote the song because none of them can remember what the lyrics are to prove that they wrote it.
Oh, wow. So hang on, the finance is being split right now between the Baha men equally?
I think no one's getting paid.
Right, because I know 50% goes to the artist and then 50% goes to the writer. So if one person's claimed that they've written it,
and I think they're all claiming they wrote it.
Oh, that's not good. Because there's not 4 or 5 lots of 50% to go around.
Nah. Do draft Baha men next week. Who's your favourite Baha man?
How many Baha men are there?
It's about 500 at the moment if you let the lawsuit tell you.
Sick. Okay, next one, yours please. Does that answer that question? I think it does. Yours please.
Yep.
How good was a bit of billeting back in the day?
Oh, fuck yeah.
We, our high school under 15 cricket team, we went over to Aussie and played 3 games around Toowoomba of all places.
Oh, nice.
And fuck me, were we like fucking rock stars. Fuck, we were in the paper, we getting fucking notes sent home with our billets to give to us. Fuck, good old days. Couldn't hit off the block though.
Oh, couldn't hit it off the block though. Right, so that was in reflection of his cricket that
actual
was played.
Sport. Yeah, I got billeted in...
Where were your billeting trips to?
Invercargill was one of them. There was a Christchurch one, but I think my dad lived in Christchurch at the time, so I was like, oh, no, fuck.
Yeah.
But, dude, it's going to be very easy to identify these people, but there was... we stayed with a family that lived in a converted convent. So we're nuns, a nunnery, basically. Yeah. And so it was an enormous house. This is why I mean it's going to be very easy to identify this family who billeted us. It was me and another mate of mine, Dominic Fukuhara. And
there's a name.
The two of us, he played in the football team, I played in the basketball team. And we got billeted in rooms way down at the end of the hallway. And one of the kids was a little bit, like, he was real standoffish and he wouldn't talk to us. I don't think he was stoked that there were kids staying with him. His mum tried to make him play the violin for us and he was fucking not having it.
As in, he wasn't very good, or?
No, he didn't want to do it. I was like, that's embarrassing, Mum. She's like, you've been doing all this. Anyway. So,
that's classic billeting though. Is blessed. The mum's put her hands up because she's keen to help the school out and accommodate some kids. The kid himself doesn't want to bar of it.
So anyway, we're at the end. There's about 15 fucking bedrooms in this house, and we're way down the end of one wing, and we've got rooms opposite each other in the hallway. In the middle of the night, Dominic gets up.
Are there nuns chilling and stuff, or is it fully converted?
It had been converted to, I think, nurses lived in there after that, and then when we got there, I don't know, that family just lived there.
Definitely haunted.
Bro, felt so fucking haunted. It was terrifying, and in the middle of the night, Dom got up and went to go to the toilet, and as he walked out of the room into the hallway, one of the kids, the kid who'd been real standoffish to us, walked across the end of the hallway and he just saw his silhouette and was just like, this kid's trying to kill me. This kid's trying to fucking kill me. So he ran and jumped into my bed and he was just like, bro, I'm fucking sleeping in here.
Oh, that's nice.
We're like 17.
Yeah. So you spent a night. Hang on.
Me and Dom.
Yeah.
Who at the time, me and Dom, at the time were identical to the point where that year, or the next year, I was 7th form, he was 6th form. I was the sports captain of my house. And I dressed him up as me and made him run as me in the 400 metres. And I won the 400 metres.
Wow, you look that similar.
Because I made Dom, He now is a bodybuilder and our paths have diverged. But anyway, it kills me looking at his Instagram photos because I'm like, if I just had applied myself, I'd look like that.
Where was the fork in the road, do you think, when it was like, We're starting to look a bit different now.
Fucking billeted in Invercargill. I don't know. But anyway, so we're in bed together. This family, I get the vibe they were quite religious. And in the morning, the father came to wake us both up. And I could hear him like, "Morning, Dom, time to get up, mate. The bus is coming at whatever time." And he woke, Dom? Oh. Manaia, have you seen Dom? And then he opens the door and me and Dom are in bed together. And he's just like, oh. Oh. And we're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, just give us a minute, we'll get up." And so I would love to know that Dad's version of events.
Yeah, no, he wasn't happy about that.
So they billeted us.
Two
of them.
Gays stayed with us. What did the son play? Do we know?
I don't think they played anything. He
Right,
played the violin.
So the mum was so nice that they were just helping at the school, and the son wasn't even involved in the exchange.
What would have happened there is, all right, we're billeting St. Kevin's College. Anyone got 15 fucking bedrooms they could spare?
Oh, how about that family that owns the convent out? Yeah, that's a good point. That would have been a good place to start. Okay, do we have any more? Yeah, 2 to go. 3 to go. Yours, please. Next one.
Hey boys, got a billet story of my own. This one involves adult billets though. There's this cricket team called the New South Wales Emus, and they're like a New South Wales country under 23 or under 21 team or something. They tend to tour the top of the South Island. They came across and played Buller once, and safe to say our billet woke up on the bathroom floor in the morning, chundered, took a 5-4, and there was another guy that was chundering in the bushes in between balls, and he got 140.
Yep. No, there's definitely a direct correlation between the worst night billeting and the performance the next day. And I think quite often the people that have the roguish nights will perform the best the following day.
I find that in broadcasting, or particularly if you're being filmed for something, the best you ever do is when you're hungover because you can't think about it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't think, geez, I hope I don't fuck this up. You're just like, God, can we get
this fucking over with.
We used to do athletics party because, I don't know why we did it, but we would have a massive piss up the night before athletics at high school. Yeah, I don't know why.
It was the last thing that we would have thought of doing.
I know, it was a shed party, and I don't really remember why we did it, but it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like a big thing, and everyone would be vomiting on the side of the track. And
fucking hell.
And every year they'd be like, "Look, guys, please, do it after the athletics, not the day before, surely." And we're like, "Nah, fuck that."
Yeah.
But yeah, that is powerful. Having a chunder and taking a 5.
Next one, yours, please.
Hey, fellas, looking to get in on the old talk back about the meningitis.
Oh, meningitis.
Use my nose to do it. Anyway, that's probably a touchy subject. Just a bit of a simulation. Within the last 2 days, the Agenda and the Casserole have both talked about how they name their podcasts. Fucking some random phrase. Anyway, looking forward to hearing how you're beating teachers and hairdressers. I love you, fuckers. Bye, love you.
I don't really know what was being asked of me there.
Oh, I'm not really too sure either. Should we let that one hang out there? Remove us if we just give it a second. Sweet, we're removed, and we'll go to the next one. Yours, please.
Because as Mr. Liddell knows, as I guess Mashi can attest to now, half the problem with staying at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Westport is that you just end up drinking where you're staying. Once you go in, it's very difficult to come out the other side and play sports well the next day. That's why Hawke Cup cricket visiting teams, Jesus, I've got some stories about some Nelson players, I'll tell you what, showing up on Sunday. Luckily for them, the game is normally pretty much done and dusted by Sunday morning, so it didn't matter they were out till 5 a.m.
So were you billeting on the West Coast?
Yeah, we had
That's terrifying.
Annual trip to Buller, and Mr. Liddell would pack us in the Kaiapoi High School minivan.
So from Kaiapoi to Buller.
And quite often we wouldn't even be able to field a full 11, like we'd just take 9 over. And not really tell them and just hope we could get a game of cricket in.
Dude, how often so you've brought not a whole team, you've brought a half team over.
Yeah. Brought half a team over.
You're the only team in history to have been billeted and also require extra players.
It would wake up the next morning and go, hey, by the way, just we're a bit short. If we could borrow a couple, that'd be great.
And they would have been like, now, did you know this when you left Christchurch? Did you?
And would have to say yes. Mr. Liddell, though, famously would drop us off at our billeting homes and then disappear for the evening. As this contributor has so eloquently put, it was probably the Cosmopolitan where he was, in fact, claiming to stay.
You can get stuck on a bar on the West Coast.
Oh.
I told the story.
Ask Mr. Liddell.
Yeah.
He was rocking up every game late.
I told the story of going over to the West Coast to help 2 friends of mine, 3, do an ultra marathon. And we were supposed to be the support team, but me and my mate Pete got stuck at the bar doing karaoke till about 3 in the morning. Cut to the next morning. They started at 6. We were supposed to be at the first aid station at 7. We fucking weren't. We weren't at the second. We weren't at the third. We slept through them all.
Oh.
Then when one of the boys finished half an hour early, we were like, let's go and get some beers so when they cross the road, finish line, they can have a beer. Well, one of them got their wind up and finished half an hour early. Rung us. Well, where the fuck are you guys? Supposed to be at the finish line. We're like, shit, we're at the bottle store.
Let's go. I think some of the best drinking New Zealand has to offer is small town drinking because you've got nowhere else to go. So you just know that this is the one choice. This is we're either here or we're home.
Yeah.
So let's get stuck in.
Way less judgy, man. I find when you're in the city, like you're just being judged for every single thing you do
all the time.
Whereas you're free to be yourself.
Agreed.
In the regions.
We have one more. He got cut off, that guy. I wonder if there was a second half of that and he thought, you know what, maybe they actually don't need to hear it.
It's unfit for broadcast.
Oh, well, appreciate you coming in, Manaia. We'll get you back in next week. We might have to do another draft. Have a think about maybe what we should do. I'm tabling biscuits, but look, no pressure on that. Cheers, Joe Jerry. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Love you, fuckers. All right.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.